Hello and welcome to the finale of Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. I feel so sad to be saying this is the finale already. Now, don't be confused. I know I said we would be doing an Easter egg episode between the last episode and this one, but as I kind of looked at things, there were only a handful of Easter eggs I really wanted to show. Sure, the game is packed with tons and tons of references all over the place. For example, like the signs around town. You've got Salty Joe's Fish and Chips and stuff like that. You've got all kinds of little things that are references in name to characters from Banjo-Tooie and Banjo-Kazooie and all that. But I kind of figured having a standalone episode that's just like an encyclopedia of me listing off various references, not the most interesting thing. So I'm going to show off what I think are the most interesting Easter eggs, and then we're going to go and do Spiral Mountain. Also, Spiral Mountain itself is not that long, so having that be a standalone thing as well wouldn't have made that much sense. So before we go and do Spiral Mountain, let's go and show off some of the more interesting things in the game here. First, check this out over by Uptown. In the back, there's actually this crashed UFO, and this thing is modeled after the UFO from the Saucer of Peril in Banjo-Tooie. Good old Saucer of Peril. Now, if we come down by the docks over by the Bingo Palace right here, and if we go talk to some of these characters, they might give us some little bits of information. Not that one. Aha! I heard the pier used to be twice as long, but they ran out of funding, so they shortened it again. Where's the logic in that? That will make sense in just a second. Let's go get a little bit more dialogue. Maybe that guy will give it. Let's go talk to some people over here, maybe. See all those boarded up buildings? They used to have doors that led to the Weird West game world. Legend tells of it being a wondrous place, but alas, it no longer exists. So the joke about them running out of funding, so they had to cut the pier short, I believe I don't know this for sure, but I'm guessing that the game was kind of rushed out the door. They lacked funding at the end, so they ended up having to cut the Weird West game world. Now, if we go over to our photos right here, not our photo camera, let's go to the photo album. Oh, CRUD! Oh, right, we can only look at the concept art inside the DLC area, so let me go show that off. Alright, so we're actually inside here now. Now let's go to our photo album, go to the concept art, and there's one shot of the pier, as you can see right here. So there's an idea that that building in the middle right there might have led to one of the areas for the Weird West game world. Of course, there probably would have been different act doors in all those boarded buildings, as they said, along the entire coastline. But there's a few ideas about Weird West. First off, the music that plays during challenges here is, I don't know if this is confirmed. Again, this is just stuff I've read, so I don't know if this is confirmed and all that, but apparently the music that plays here was meant to play inside the Weird West game world. And if you take a listen, it definitely sounds like something that would fit in a Western-themed area. There's also a couple other things. First off, you might have remembered in Gigaseum there was 2 Grunty battles. There's an idea floating around that one of those Grunty battles is probably meant to be part of the Weird West game world. Probably the one with the billiard balls. Another thing is that if the Weird West game world had 15 extra missions, then the game would end up with exactly 150 Jiggies, and we wouldn't have the extra awkward Trophy Thomas trophy like we have right now. 15 extra would give us a nice round number to finish off our Jiggy count at exactly 150, so it probably had that many planned. And one last thing that would make a lot of sense for having the Weird West over here is that the seaside area, this is the only part of Showdown Town that does not have a game world. So it makes a lot of sense that Weird West would be here. Now, it's a bit unfortunate that this is nighttime right now, but if we go to the very, very top of Showdown Town, we can get a little bit of a look at stuff off in the distance. For example, that mansion back there, I've seen some people say it's like a Luigi's Mansion thing. It's not. It's from Grabbed by the Ghoulies, a previous Rare game that they've made lots of references to in this game. And also over here, it's very hard to see in the dark. Let me see if I can get the camera out to take a little bit of a closer look. I can't get that much closer, but over there, very hard to see, but some people think that that is meant to be modeled after the castle from Super Mario 64, Peach's Castle. What do you guys think? I think it could be it, but who knows? Let's go check out some stuff inside Logbox 720. Now, first off, the music inside here, apparently it samples a lot of sound effects from old arcade games, but also, if you listen to it for long enough, eventually there will be a voice that comes on, and it has some kind of interesting lyrics to it. Of course, the good old gaming mystery that Rare just loves making references to, Stop and Swap, makes its way into that song as well. But one other thing we can do inside here is let's go take a look at all these discs. Now we've seen, like, there's the Banjo-Kazooie disc right here, but all of the different discs also have some text along the bottom, so let's go ahead and read that. This one says, Banjo-Kazooie, Rare 1998, The Bear and Bird's First Adventure. Will anyone remember Nuts and Bolts in a decade? Come back in 2018 and find out. While we're doing this series, it is 2016, and some of you might be watching this in 2018, so I guess some people will remember this. So definitely come back to this video in 2018 if you still remember Nuts and Bolts. Over on this side, we've got some more discs. This one's an original Xbox game. It's Mr. Pants, which is not a real game, but anyways, down here, Mr. Pants, Rare 2003, our website mascot that somehow managed to get his own game. It's highly doubtful whether he'll get another. Wait, did he really get a game? Hold on, let me check this. Oh, CRUD, he really did get his own game, but it was not on the Xbox, it was on the Game Boy Advance. They probably didn't want them to put that in this game because, well, Microsoft bought Rare. So anyways, here we've got Grabbed by the Ghoulies, which actually did come out on the Xbox. It says Ghoulies, Rare 2003, a light-hearted haunted house romp with ninja imps and a DJ mummy. You'll probably find a copy in good bargain bins everywhere. Of course, once again, making fun of the fact that the game didn't sell very well. Here we've got Banjo-Tooie. This one says Banjo-Tooie Rare 2000, a lengthier and more complex sequel to Banjo-Kazooie that included everything and the kitchen sink. Did you like it more or less? Yeah, Banjo-Tooie was a very, very big and epic and complicated game. It was seriously crazy how much stuff they threw into that game. Personally, I prefer the original Banjo-Kazooie over Banjo-Tooie, but I think both games are really awesome. I do dislike the simplicity of the original game, though. But there's some more discs, so let's go find them. Or I think there's just one more, actually. Okay, so the last disc up here is a Viva Pinata disc. And this one says, Viva Pinata, Rare 2006, a delightful mix of gardening and papery critter collection. Winner of Best Game No One Played. Sequel now available. Yeah, it's one of those things. I've talked about Viva Pinata so much during this playthrough, especially early on. It really is just a wonderful game. I love that game so much, but not a lot of people really played it. Anyways, let's get out of this place. Next, we're in Gigaseum, and inside the middle of the arena, there's this little board right here that shows a bunch of stuff. First off, it shows that name right there, which is apparently the name of the town Rare worked from, or something like that. But it's gonna show a bunch of scores here. However, if we keep watching for a while, all right, here, is anybody actually reading this? Yeah, if you watch for long enough, it'll say, is anybody actually reading this? It's kind of a weird little thing right there. And there's one more message that'll pop up if we keep watching. And here it says, Banjo-Kazooie, Nuts and Bolts must. Very slow reading here, guys. It says Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts must be boring if you are sitting here, or still reading this, basically, so just poking some more fun. I've been staring at this CRUD for like 10 minutes now. It takes a while for this to pop up, but the full message is Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts must be really boring if you're still sitting here reading this instead of playing the game. So I would rather actually be playing the game right here. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm in my Specco Spy right now, and the last place I want to go to is Banjo-Land. Now, Banjo-Land, of course, is absolutely filled with references to other Banjo-Kazooie games and other Rare games as well, just totally packed. So I'm going to show you guys just a couple of the most interesting things here. So if we come over to the graveyard area right here, we've got all these tombstones, and on the back of these, you can actually see, well, actually you can see on the front the names as well, but apparently these are old designs, or scrap designs for grunt bots that were going to make it into the game, but didn't quite make it. That one's not a thing, but yeah, you can see there's the Possessor. Maybe that guy would take control of you or something like that. Who knows? But yeah, I guess some old Gruntbot designs that didn't quite make it into the game, except for the little pictures right here. That's all they really get for the game. And another really cool thing, if we go down to the treasure room, which is that room that's kind of beneath the igloo here, we can go back here and we can find these lockers, and it says Dave Rose and Greg Males, which are two of the developers for the game. Now, back in Banjo-Tooie, there was a level where they had some lockers with some developer names on them as well. I wonder if either of these guys' names were on the Banjo-Tooie ones too. I'm not sure about that. Now, there's one thing I can't really show you guys, but apparently the game world, all of Banjo-Land, if you zoom far enough out, the map is actually shaped like Banjo's head. Now, I can't actually confirm this because I can't zoom that far out to really see it. And no matter how high up I get, even if I glitch out of the map and fly as high up as you possibly can, it's still kind of too big picture to really see if that's what it is. Here I am, glitched out of the map as high as I can really go, and as you can see, it's hard to tell if this is meant to be Banjo's head or not, but maybe it is. Now, of course, around Banjo-Land, there's also all of these little information posts right here. There's actually 20 of them in total, as you can see at the bottom right. This is 17 out of 20. All these really do, though, is they kind of show you where things came from in previous Banjo games. I wouldn't consider these Easter eggs. Earlier in the playthrough, I said I was probably going to read all of these, but I just don't think there's really that much need to. Like I said, all they do is kind of point things out point out where things came from in previous games. So if you're playing yourself, definitely go around and read those if you're interested, but I don't think it really has a place in the video here. And that's all I really wanted to show, guys. So let's go and do Spiral Mountain. As we go up to Spiral Mountain, I've got a question for all of you. What is your theory behind that giant 2 above Spiral Mountain? Why is it a 2 and not a 1? Now, I think earlier in the playthrough I did say that I think that Act 1 was when we were Big Banjo at the start of the game, and this is actually Act 2. However, that is not right, because if I go up to this, it says Spiral Mountain Act 1. So why the crud is that a 2? I have no idea. But here we've got 7 Jiggies and 7 trophies. Let's go get started. And there's no TV intro or anything like that for this one. We just drop into the world here. Here we are. We're finally home, guys. Now, we've got 7 Jiggies to get, but it's a little bit misleading because there's actually only 2 more missions in the game. One of the missions just happens to give 6 Jiggies, and that one is right up here with Log himself. Now, we also have down there is the final battle with Gruntilda, but she won't battle us unless we finish off this mission right here. So, let's go do the one with Log, and then we'll go down there and do the final battle as well. Well, 6 of the best. Let's go talk to him right here. Unless my pixels deceive me, it would appear that you've made it to the final challenge. Bear, I applaud the combination of willpower and sheer blind luck that has carried you this far. Here we go. So this mission, it's gonna be the whole 6 things like he's saying. There's 6 tasks to it, and that's why we get 6 Jiggies and 6 trophies. But basically, it's gonna be 6 missions in one. However, we only get 1 vehicle, so we have to do all 6 of these things with 1 vehicle. It sounds a lot harder than it really is. As long as we have a decent design, it's not too bad. So let's go ahead and make a vehicle that'll work for this and get to it. All we really need is something that can do a little bit of sumo, carry stuff, and fly, and we'll probably be fine. So here we go. Alright, so check this out, guys. We've got the 2 super engines, all the super fuel, and all the super ammo just kind of chilling up here. Then we've got a bunch of wings. Now right here, we've got some detachers attached to a box with a bunch of wheels. This is so that in certain portions we can carry stuff, sections of the mission where we don't have to carry stuff, we can drop it off. And we also have a couple torpedoes up here, because we'll need to shoot some things. And then we've got the 2 second blows for the sumo section, which will help out a lot. And then we've just got a bunch of wheels along here. So I think this should be good. Now, there's going to be portions that kind of go into the water, but I'm just going to fly through those sections instead of actually going into the water there. So let's go give it a paint job and give it a try. Now, orange being my favorite color, I think we're going to go make the last 2 missions, the last 2 vehicles we make in this game, we're going to make them orange. Now, because this mission is from Log and we're going to be destroying it, we're gonna call this one the Lumberjack. Well, here we go. Let's get started and hope I didn't forget anything. I'm pretty sure our vehicle is good to go right here. So every time we go to a different section of the mission, they're gonna give us a chance to really take a look at it. We don't have to just scramble and get right into it here. So for this first one, we just have to go inside the crown here and stay inside it for 12 seconds. That's all. And once we've done that, this little section will end. Now, there's not just the 6 missions right here, though. There's a little bit more to this mission than just these little things right here. And once we finish this, you'll see what I mean. Time for a break after that simple introduction. And of course, it wouldn't be a Banjo-Kazooie game without some quiz questions near the end. Answer correctly to wind back the challenge clock. So yes, between each of the 6 challenges, we're going to have some quiz questions. What is the name of Mr. Ribs' shop in Showdown Town? That is called Mr. Ribs Barbecue Ribs. There we go. And every time you get a question right, it's going to take 5 seconds off your clock to help you get that trophy a lot easier. What is the name of the cake shop next to Humba's shop in Showdown Town? That is Delicious Dishes. All right. I do believe that's the right answer. A lot of this I just remembered. I don't have like a sheet of correct answers or anything. What numbers are on the bingo balls outside Jingling's Bingo Palace in Showdown Town? That is 11 and 44. I do believe that's the right answer. So one more. There's going to be 4 questions each time. How many cranes are there in the dock area of Showdown Town? Now I think there's 3. Yes, indeed. Okay. So I got all 4 right, so my clock's going to go all the way back to 0. Honestly, you can get the trophy for this even if you don't get any of these questions right if you're fast enough, but getting things right definitely helps cut down on time right there. So the second portion, we do have to deliver something right here. We just have to take that green crystal and put it in the dumpster by Banjo's house. So that's why I've got the box right here. Now this crystal, pretty large for this little box, so hopefully we can make this one work without totally dropping it. Let's just see if we can actually get airborne. Come on, dude, get up in the air. Okay, maybe I should have had... Oh, wait, did I forget propellers like I always do? Gosh dang it, man. Well, we'll see if we can make this one work without propellers, but it's going to be very, very difficult. Actually, I'm just going to start over. I don't know why. I always forget propellers on video. Hooray, I've got propellers now. Let's actually do this, CRUD. So let's stick the gem in right there. Now we can actually take off because we have propellers, and this is amazing. All right, so let's go take the gem over here. Kind of almost dropped it. Oh, I crashed, but no, there it goes. All right, so we're just going to have to drop out right here, get wrecked by these blowing dudes, and we're just going to carry it to the end. Like I said, getting the trophy here is not too bad, so it's going to be fine. Yes, Sparrow Mountain is looking tidier already. Back to the quiz. All right, 4 more questions here. What role did Mumbo perform before he was forced by Log to become a mechanic? He transformed Banjo into things. That's correct. Heck yeah, it is, dude. I've played my Banjo-Kazooie games. I know what's up with this. Which of these is the name of a previous Banjo game? Banjo-Kazooie. Wow. If you get that one wrong, I don't even know what to say. Let's see. What was the name of the first level in Banjo-Kazooie? Mumbo's Mountain, of course. Now we've got just one more question here. I'm not going to be able to bring my time down to 0, but oh well. What was the much better than this one quiz called in Banjo-Kazooie? That was Grunty's Furnace Fun. I mean, Grunty's Furnace Fun, probably a better quiz show than Logs right here. But this is still fun. I still love the little trivia bits and all that kind of crud. So that's done with section 2. Let's move on to number 3. And this is why we've got the torpedoiles, because for this part we just have to go around and shoot a bunch of targets. So we'll just go up, take a couple shots. They don't take too many swings to take down just like that. Some of them are a little bit more finicky than others, and they won't necessarily die right away. So you just gotta watch out for that. But if you take 2 or 3 shots at each one, they'll probably die, unless they're that one, because for some reason that one just never cooperates. But this is why we've got plenty of ammo, so we can take all the shots that we need to. Yeah, this one always throws a fit for some reason. But there you go. Which video game is featured on the largest disc on the Logbox, or in the Logbox 720 Game World? Well, that one is Banjo-Kazooie. We just took a look at all those game discs, and the Banjo-Kazooie one, it was the biggest one. What's at the very top of the Logbox 720 Game World? That is a large pool of glubber, but no. At the very top is a massive fan. The large pool of glubber is pretty high up there, but not quite at the very, very top. How many vertical levels does the Logbox 720 Game World have? I guess this quiz section is just all about Logbox 720, but the answer to that one was 6. Let's see here. Which object is on the audio chip in the Logbox 720 Game World? I think it's a speaker. Yep, it is. Okay. Now, one thing to keep in mind, the questions we get are actually random, so you won't necessarily get the same questions that I'm getting, or in the same order, or even the same questions at all. So just keep that in mind if you're playing along here. You might have some different questions. So for this next section, pretty simple. We just have to go through all the checkpoints. All there is to it. It's going to go in the air, it's going to be on the ground, it's going to go over the water, but I'm just going to go on the ground for the first portion, and then we're going to start flying. And for the rest of it, I'm just going to fly. Small problem, this vehicle is not that great at getting off the ground. That's why I built a detacher there. I don't know why I didn't detach it sooner, but there you go. There we go. We're actually in the air. This is fantastic. Now let's see if we can go do this, CRUD. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble staying airborne in this one right here. Gosh, this is... Oh, maybe it's because I've got all the heavy stuff on the front. I really don't know, but this is controlling very poorly. This is not a difficult portion of the mission, but for some reason my vehicle is not cooperating right here at all. Gosh dang. I made like the exact same vehicle with my test file, and it worked out fine. Wow, maybe it's because I've got the propellers in different positions than I had before. I don't know, but this is not controlling well at all. Now there's 1.5 million different vehicles, probably literally more than that. There's a lot of different designs you could use to do this mission right here, but you don't gotta be that precise, so I'm not super worried about it. What is the name of Banjo-Land? Banjo-Land. Yes, I got it! The hardest question of them all right there. What numbers appear on the Gigaseum dominoes? This I actually don't know. I think it's 1 and 3. Okay, it is. Wow. I think I've got every single question right so far. I'm a little bit of a nerd with this game. What color are the awnings above the Gigaseum spectator stands? That is red. Well done, you answered that correctly. We got one more. Just one more for this section right here. Let's see. Which item of food is not available from the stalls in the Gigaseum food hall? I know popcorn and hot dogs are. I'm not I know pizza and hot dogs are. I don't know if it's popcorn or burgers. I'm gonna say burgers. No, it's popcorn. Okay, so I got one wrong finally. Oh well. We're almost done with this mission. I'm pretty sure I can get this one done, although the awkward vehicle handling might not do so well on this next portion right here, because for this one, we have to take these honeycombs and bring them to the top, and, whoa, I almost pressed the wrong button and dropped off my tailpiece. I do not want to be dropping that crud, because I kind of need to actually carry things. So let's go right over here. We'll pick up these 3 honeycomb pieces. Now you gotta watch out, these grunt bots right here, if they hit you, they will do lots of damage, and if they both hit you, you might die and have to start the mission over, so be very careful with that. Now once we've got all these in place, we're gonna go ahead and fly off of this ramp right here, and use that kind of as a launching pad to try to get airborne. There we go, looks like it's working, and then we'll just swoop around, and we go land on top where Log is, and once we drop these all on the checkpoint, there you go, we're done with that, and off we go. Now here, what's written on the space junk rocket in the Terrarium of Terror? The answer to that is you won, and that's actually a reference to one of the oldest Rare games called Jetpack as well, so kind of interesting. Anyways, what are the walls made from in the Terrarium of Terror? That is glass. 2 more questions. Well done, you answered that correctly. Thanks, Log. Alright, the next one is, how many crates are there in the quarry area just behind my back in Spiral Mountain? How the crud should I know that? 10? No, I don't know. I don't know what it was. It might have been none, to be honest with you. I really don't know the answer to that one. What type of vegetable is seen hopping around Spiral Mountain? That would be an onion. Yeah, the onions. I don't think they even hurt you, though. The enemies around here, I'm pretty sure don't damage you. So we got a decent score of 3. So overall, I missed 2 questions in the quiz right here. Oh well. Now we've got just the last section right here with the whole sumo thing. So we'll go ahead and drop off that crud, see if we can fly over there, get out the suck and blow stuff, and, well, see if we can get these guys blown away here. And I completely went past them and missed. Oh, gosh. I'm not trying to do this. I'm not trying to actually ram into these. Just trying to blow them out here. Oh, oh my gosh. Well, for doing this one, we also get 60 notes, 6 jiggies, and 6 trophy Thomases. Very nice. Now, all that stands between us and the end of the game is one more mission. Let's go ahead and do it. 6 of the best, more like 6 of the worst. If you're done with that farce, prepare to be cursed. Alright, Grunty. Well, let's go ahead and call back our vehicle, drive down to Grunty, and get started here. We are going to be making a new vehicle as well, but it's going to be pretty simple, and we're kind of just going to add on to a vehicle we already have. So, let's go talk to her. Spiral Mountain Showdown. Let's get to it. Get out of my face, Piddles. You can whip the game worlds and trounce the town. Don't think for a minute you'll keep me down. Oh, crud. Why are we looking at the back of Grunty's head? Never give up, do you, Grunty? What makes you think you'll do any better against us this time? It kind of lags for a second because it's kind of loading Showdown Town. I don't know why it goes back and shows us inside Showdown Town for some reason. Don't really know what this is supposed to be about, but there you go. We're inside Showdown Town again right there. My body was still, but my mind was racing, inventing new vehicles to give you a pasting. My minions have built them. I knew they'd look after me. I'll claim this place while you slave away in my factory. Not going to happen, grunt bags. We're more than ready for you. Goodbye, Spiral Mountain. Hello, Grunty Acres. You too. Prepare. I think she said prepare to meet your makers. I didn't really read that one fast enough. Now, you might have seen there was some more stuff next to her. I think that was some extra ammo inside those boxes. But right here, she's going to have a giant, I guess, monster truck type thing. Now, this battle is actually going to have 5 sections. And what we have to do in each section is knock Grunty out of her car. there's a couple ways we can do that. One is by just shooting her a bunch, and the other is by knocking her into the water. So let's go ahead and make a vehicle here. Now, the key point here is we're gonna need something that can float, or not float, something that can fly. I'm gonna start with our sumo vehicle here and just put some weapons and some wings on it, really. Oh, also sticky balls. We gotta have sticky balls. Fantastic news, guys. I'm not gonna forget the propellers. All right, there you go. So we've got our sumo vehicle. I took off the bumpers on the front, added a couple sticky balls, added a bunch of weapons on top with a bunch of super ammos, got some propellers on the butt, and we've got all of our folding wings. Let's go and wreck Grunty once and for all. Now, for the first 4 rounds, it's a lot easier to knock her into the water rather than trying to knock her or trying to actually kill her. So right here, for example, oh, I kind of missed. Oh no, come back, Grunty. Okay, let me try here again. But I just wanted to drag her into the water. Kind of goofed right there. I'm even going to restart because that was just a major goof. So let's go ahead and try again right here. It's very easy. She always follows the same path right here at the very start. I just kind of goofed a little bit. So let's try again. We'll just wait for a second. Wait for her to come by. Get her with the sticky balls. Drag her into the water. And that's pretty much it for the first round. We'll just wait for a second. She'll sink down. And after she's been underwater for a little bit, she'll go ahead and pop out. And there you go. We can move on to round number 2. Now, round number 2, not quite as easy to actually drag her into the water. I think I said the first 4 rounds it's best to do that. But this one, small problem, she's kind of floating already. So for this round, we're actually going to be killing her. Let's go ahead and skip ahead. And I do want to use the wings for this one, so let's get those out. There we go. And I'm going to basically take off. And we're going to fly over this way and start shooting torpedoes. They'll do a pretty good job of tracking her down. They'll be smashing her like crazy. And then as we get closer, we'll just go ahead and blast her with some lasers. And eventually that should lead to her vehicle dying, and she'll sink right down. You can see with some great firepower like what we've got right here, we can take her down very, very easily. Now, round 3's got a bit of a gimmick. She's going to go invisible. However, she's always follows the same path, so as long as we know where she's going to go at the start, we can intercept her and get things going. She always goes this way at the very start, so we're going to ram into her, stick her with the sticky balls, drag her into the water, and once again, she'll sink down, and eventually she'll pop out of our vehicle, and there you go, round 3 already done. Now, round 4, she's going to have a little bit of a fortress-looking thing, some kind of pyramid crud. Now, you could just destroy her, you could drag her in. Either way is going to work pretty well for this one. I think I'm going to go with the destruction route. If I can not fall in the water, that'd be great. And down I go. Fantastic, me. Good thing we got those propellers because they'll also help out with the water movement here. Okay, let's get back out here. And I'm just going to go over and blast the crud out of her. If we just aim right at the middle, that'll aim for her seat. And after a couple seconds of blasting, you can see we got her. So there is that one. And now's the hard one. Those first 4 are actually pretty easy. This right here is very difficult and very awkward to do consistently. This time, Grunty's going to be flying around, and it is just so awkward. I'm going to switch over to my wings instead of the sticky ball right there, or instead of the laser, and I'm going to fly up. Now, if we can, I really want to try to stick Grunty. It might not happen, but I'm going to try here. And it looks like we got her. Very nice. Now, once you get her, I'm just going to start shooting her with torpedoes. Unfortunately, somehow she got away right there. Now, this is where things get awkward. This round of Grunty has super blocks, and torpedoes are not very good at chasing her down. And when they don't hit her consistently, she's not going to die, and it's just not a good time. So what you want to try to do is just try to get relatively close, try to shoot torpedoes over and over, hope that they actually do a good job of tracking her down, hopefully they don't miss constantly, and hopefully you can destroy her before she actually manages to kind of get away and start healing, because she will start healing if she gets away. And once you run out of ammo, you basically can't keep up with her rate of healing. It's really awful. So we have to destroy those bits in the back first, and there you go, we got it. I got very, very lucky that that worked. That can go super bad and take so long. If you run out of ammo, your ammo is just not going to regen fast enough to ever keep up with her. So what I would recommend doing is try to stick her with the sticky ball, drag her in the water, and really try to drag her under. It's not easy, but it's possible. So sticking her and dragging her in the water is kind of a backup strat if the destroying her straight up like that doesn't work out so well for you. But that's it, guys. We have beat Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. We've done everything there is to do. And now we have this final cutscene right here. Now, we do still have to go back into the game to cache all of the jiggies we got. But aside from that, we're done. I don't think that will be necessary, Banjo. Why not, Scartmouth? shoutouts if you know what a SCART cable is. I've got a feeling a lot of people from America don't know what that is. But yes, we just won the game. We did it. How? I lost, I fail to see. A 3-time loser I cannot be. Yeah, she's lost in Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, and once again in Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. And I guess she also loses in Banjo-Kazooie Grunty's Revenge, which maybe someday I should also play. Let me know if you guys want to see me eventually play Banjo-Kazooie Grunty's Revenge or Banjo Pilot, because I'm definitely down to play them, even if they're kind of, you know, Game Boy Advance games, not as fancy to look at. They're still... well, Grunty's Revenge is still pretty fun. I haven't played Banjo Pilot, so I couldn't speak on that one, but I'm pretty sure it's kind of like a Diddy Kong Racing type game where you race around in planes in CRUD. But here everyone is to congratulate me on winning, and of course we get that fancy tuxedo, dude. So if you've seen anyone in the multiplayer episode that had tuxedos, or if you've ever watched the leaderboards, or anything like that, the way you get the tuxedo, you just beat the game here. You just beat Spiral Mountain, and boom, you got a tuxedo, so there you go. And now if we do any missions on the leaderboards, it'll show us with this, all that kind of stuff. And now they're joking about they may never get another game. I hope. I know it's 2008. This game came out 8 years ago. I hope someday we'll get a proper sequel, get a proper Banjo 3 with platforming and all that. I don't know if it'll ever happen, and if it does, it probably will lack that something special because, well, most of the original team has moved on and is doing Yooka-Laylee instead. I'm very excited for Yooka-Laylee, but, well, maybe we'll get a proper Banjo game in the future as well. We'll just have to wait and see. Personally, I am very happy with Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. I love the game. I wouldn't want to see a Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts 2, probably, unless they did something really special to kind of expand on it, but I don't know. I just love this game. It's one of those games that I can play over and over. I never get bored of it. I just love it so much. Now, it's not a perfect game. Here's the thing. Personally, I make a distinction between my favorite game and the best game. I don't think Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts is the best game. I don't even think it's probably in the top 100 best games. It's got a lot of serious problems. There's not that much mission variety. There's kind of a lot of empty space inside the game worlds. I think the biggest flaw with the game is that the race missions, and there's a lot of race missions, you have a game based around vehicles and the actual racing mechanics aren't really that interesting. I think the game really shines when you have missions where you kind of have to create creative vehicles to try to make interesting things happen. I think that's where the game really shines. The racing, they really could have done some more work on. It would have been cool if they also had the Weird West game world and all kinds of things. I've played the game a lot, guys. I am not blinded by nostalgia because I didn't even play the game when it came out. I am probably more aware of the game's flaws than anyone. And even still, it is my favorite game. Even if I can admit those flaws and admit it's not the best game ever, it's still something that just kind of hits all the notes that I love. It's very much a Psycho game. All the stuff I love in video games, you know, this game really hits those points really well. However, let's go ahead and drop back into the game world. Let's go cash in the rest of our Jiggies and get that final achievement for 131 Jiggies. So as you can see, this little Jiggo Bend that's been just chilling up here for the entire game, that one was for Spiral Mountain. So let's go up, get those 7 Jiggies and turn them in, and then we have to go get the last couple of Trophy Thomas Jiggies and turn those in as well. All right, we got those 7 turned in. Let's go grab the last couple and wrap this adventure up. And here we go, these last 2 Jiggies, once I drive into the Jiggy Bank. That's it, we're done, and we're going to get the achievement for getting 131 Jiggies. I do believe you've now earned and banked every single Jiggy in the game. In retrospect, perhaps I should have made it a nice round number. Yeah, I think that they were going to. Like I said with the Weird West stuff earlier, I think they were going to. But that's it, guys. Your name goes into my ledger of obsessive completists alongside those who got all the platinums in Blast Corps, and I kind of skipped past the dialogue right there, but also some challenges in Grabbed by the Ghoulies and all that kind of stuff. More references to old rare games. Anyways, that is going to be it for Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, my favorite game of all time. Now with that said, my favorite game changes all the time. I love so many games so much, it's very difficult to just pick one. Of course, I absolutely adore Super Mario World, Super Mario Sunshine, I love Pokemon Emerald, I love The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. There's so many games that are so dear to me that I love so much. But Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts is one of those games. Now, it's not perfect, and a lot of people don't think that it deserves to be a Banjo game. I hope that throughout this playthrough you guys can agree with me that, well, it might not be a platformer. It might throw aside a lot of the conventions of old Banjo games, this game still has the heart, it still has the music and the characters, and the humor, and so much stuff. It really has that rare touch, and personally, I feel like it works as a Banjo game, even if it's not the platforming game that we kind of all wanted. I guess, on that final note, we're going to wrap up Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, and I guess maybe see you guys again in Yooka-Laylee? Huh? Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, thank you for experiencing my favorite game with me, I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next adventure. Take care.